Okay, I think we're up. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday. My name's Jake Brune here with Eventd. I have learned a couple things from my first stream, three things actually. Number one, I say a lot. I'm now conscious of that, and hopefully I'll be doing that a little bit less. Um, there we go. Just like that. Number two, uh, last time I had to take a coffee break and it took quite a while, and I don't want to do that again. So I was smart and pre planned and preheated my coffee pot full of water so it's there ready for me so I can turn around a coffee break much quicker. And number three, I got a post from Martin Diogler on LinkedIn after the first stream. I think it was actually during the first stream. He recommended that I should be using this tool. And initially, I was thinking that I wanted to experiment, show how long it took me to do this without any help. And then in the next uh, system that I design, I would use Martin's tool. But I think that's actually a bad idea. I think I should be taking every speed advantage that I can get. So today, I'm going to start off by redoing the event model that we've done so far using the excellent Nebulet event modeling extension that Martin has built. So let's dive in. Okay, just a little recap here. I am designing a system for myself to allow potential prospective clients to land on my website and book an event modeling session with me. So that's kind of like my entry point into one of the entry point into establishing some future project work. Uh, I would like people to sign up for an event modeling session. We'll kind of go through what I'm doing right now to design a system. And when everything is complete, we've checked off that uh, the system looks good, has a good design, it gets signed off, and then that can roll into some implementation work. So, as I was saying, I'm going to start using Martin's event modeling tool here to recreate what I've already designed here. So let's jump in, and first let's create an event there, and I will just rename this remote shop. Save that, and as I do this, there's nothing, do that, click there again, another event, save. While I do this is going to be kind of mindless while I do this. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I did not get started with computers quite as early as everyone else. I think the first time I used a computer, I guess the computer was the Atari. I didn't do any programming on the Atari. It was plug in a cartridge, play Frogger or Pitfall. But I was always enamored by video games, even when I was 3 or 4 years old. I was lucky to get a Nintendo pretty early on, and that further solidified what I wanted to do later on in life. hard to type and talk about something totally different at the same time. All right. So I got my first PC probably 1990. It was a 386 with a math coprocessor. I don't think I really even needed the math coprocessor. It was just buying games at Fred Meyer on a 5.5-inch floppy disk and playing those. So it was pretty much just like just a gaming rig. I did start learning about batch like Windows batch files around that time. I guess that was my first real intro into programming. But I would say that my first time I really was like, yeah, programming's awesome. I was in high school actually, so this was like 1996. I'd already learned how to type pretty well for the last 6 years. Um, but I was taking an AutoCAD class, and while it was fun to use the computer to design buildings or parts, I had way more fun scripting Lua inside AutoCAD than I actually did doing any of the drawing. So I was pretty lucky. AutoCAD instructor noticed that I would rather be programming than drawing, so he set up a special class where myself and a few others could learn programming like on our own pace. He provided some, he scrounged up some information about, I think it was QBasic at the time. He gave us that. I'd already, had a little bit of experience with Lua. Wasn't really a fan of QBasic. There's nothing wrong with it. It gets stuff done, but wanted something with a little bit more power. So after I got through all of his material, he got me hooked up with the Oregon Institute of Technology, which happened to be in the same town where I grew up. And shortly after that, I was enrolled. I think it was my sophomore or junior year, not sure. I think it was my junior year. I got enrolled at OIT and started taking some C and C++ classes. Prior to getting enrolled, though, I bought myself Learn How to Program C for Dummies. Remember those books? Oh, I need to get the chat up here. There we go. Nobody's chatting yet. I'm speaking into the ether. That's fine. Receipt sent. Just got a couple more here. Martin, if you do watch this and you see some efficiencies that I could be taking, please let me know. Okay, so I learned C, took some C classes, did some labs, did all of that, and then I was hooked. My senior year in my high school, we had to do a senior project, and I chose to create a video game. Of course, that's why I got into programming in the first place, because I wanted to do video games. I think that's kind of common, and so my video game was a recreation of Pong. My advisor was one of the instructors at OIT, Fong Wen. Thank you, Fong, for helping me out all those years ago. I think that was his first year at OIT, and now he's a 22-year veteran. I haven't seen him in a while. I've chatted with him on LinkedIn, though. He's doing well. I think he's moved up to the Portland Metro campus. Well, one of my favorite lines from Pong was he'd always tell us that there's no magic in computers. Even the most complex things, it might seem like magic, but yeah, there's no magic here. And that would be the same for AI. There's no magic. It might seem magical. It's just a bunch of quantified statistics in, probably not saying that right, but okay, moving on here. So, for high school, I was born and raised up until the age of 8 in Iowa, and then I moved to Oregon. And like most people who grew up in a small mid-sized town, you're in high school, I think I had some disdain for being there, so of course I wanted to leave as soon as I graduated. So I went to Iowa State because I had some family members that had gone there before and thought it'd be cool. And it was great. I spent 2 years at Iowa State. But then I decided, being out of state, I didn't really want to accrue a whole lot more debt. So I decided to move back to Klamath Falls and attend OIT to finish my education. And I'm glad I did. OIT was way more hands-on. I mean, we went through theory and everything, but it was just awesome to be with way more involved labs. Remember in our operating systems classes, we actually had little, was it 186s or 286 boards that we had to build an operating system for? That was really cool. Anyway, got through college. And in 2005, I graduated. Took 5 years. That was mostly because of the transfer. I did like to party a little bit. Let's see. After that, I landed my first job for the state of Washington And that was for the lottery. And I thought that was going to be the coolest job ever. Getting to do gambling, getting to work on games. So stoked. And it was fun, but it has nothing to do with games. All of those games and those pieces of technology, to print out those little registers where you get your lottery tickets. That is all handled by a third party vendor. And the lottery mainly just receives transaction files on a nightly basis that they reprocess just to balance the books. So it was a great place to start off my career. A lot of time to learn, like learn how software is managed in a small shop. I got to learn mainframe, and even got to learn a little bit of COBOL to work on the mainframe. Oh yeah, hey Adam. I've been busy too, and these next few weeks are going to be busy as well. But yeah, we do need to catch up. I'll ping you over on Discord later on. Evntd. Requested. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, lottery. I was working for the lottery. I spent 2 years at the lottery, and me and my wife, we had just gotten married too, like right before we moved up there, and we were in Olympia, Washington, beautiful city, but we really just didn't know anybody. And after 2 years, we had family and friends already in the Portland area, and we were feeling a little lonesome. So we decided for me to look for a job down in the Portland area. And I did a couple interviews, but I think it was my second interview. I met up with a guy named DJ Breslin, and that interview went off. I mean, it was a great interview, and they offered me a job. I'm not sure if it was because of my skill or because I wasn't really all that skilled at 2 years. I mean, I could program and solve problems, but anyway, I think it was more because I liked WoW. Is anybody still playing WoW? World of Warcraft? So when I moved there, it was actually for a company called Click Commerce, which it stemmed from a company called Webbridge. Webbridge was a Portland startup in the late 90s. But then, of course, the bubble burst, and then companies were doing riffs to get, and a lot of companies were shutting down. Some lucky ones got to get I guess acquired, and that's what happened to Webbridge. They got acquired by Click Commerce, but they left the dev team, or like really the Webbridge team. They shrunk it, but it didn't get diluted with a bunch of other people. It's still pretty much the same culture, same company. So even though I was working for Click Commerce, it still felt like I was part of web bridge. And of course, then go through a few more acquisitions. And finally, after being traded around by venture capitalists for a bit, Huron Consulting Group was actually using the ClickCommerce software in a lot of their projects, and they just decided to outright buy the company and fold them in. So we became full-time Huron Consulting employees. And while I was there, I was responsible. It was like an ERP system that was tailored for the research and healthcare administration. And I specifically worked on a product called SF424, which is really the name of a governmental form that everybody has to fill out in order to get research dollars. So if you are in the research space, at least in the grant space, filing to get federal funds, there's a good chance you've used my software. Not my software, Huron software that I wrote. Like most code lives forever. A lot of people have been working on that product since I stopped, but I'm sure there's still quite a bit of my code floating around in there. And in the early and like mid-teens, I wanted to do something else. I was getting a little bored. Company culture was shifting a little bit as well. I had a friend reach out, and I went and moved over, and I worked for Eris, and that was a fun project. We were trying to solve the traveling salesman problem. And without a quantum computer, you can't really solve it. Or maybe there's better techniques now with LLMs or other machine learning stuff. I haven't really kept up on it, but it took a lot of compute back in 2014, but we would still come up with solutions that were better than like manually defining routes. And it was specifically for the cable providers. So if you were, I feel like I already typed that event on. No, I have not. Oh, whoops. Oh, here I was just talking, and that should be a clone. Yeah, clone. Each will be clones. Let's see, how do I do that? How do I? I know Martin's got a way to do this. Here. Forget. Is it duplicate? No, that's not duplicate. like to have wide sticky notes. Let's apply that to all of them. It doesn't change everything immediately. That's fine. You can just highlight all of those. And now new ones that I created since I hit that checkbox. Yeah, like sticky notes. How do I create that copy? In swim lane. Scenario editor. Huh. All right. Well, this is a learning opportunity. Working agreement. This one. Oh, copy link. I wonder if that link. Oh, link to that. No, that is not it. Ah, okay. I feel like, yeah, that's the one that I want. It's linked to. I feel like Martin had a shortcut way of doing that. Um, yeah. This link to, that's Control K. Is there a way to? No. Line. Distribute horizontally. No. I mean, yes, but no. Okay. Bear with me. I'm just going to separate these a little bit. Going to widen things out. Boom, 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 boom. Get the hang of this. Make sure these are all in the correct order. Okay. Here, this over here. Isn't it fun watching me fiddle around with sticky notes? Excuse me. Okay, we'll get those realigned here in a second. Okay, that one worked. Great. Boom. Boom. Invoice generated. That control Alt Control K. Alt K. Alt Control K. There we go. This was invoice generated. Invoice generated right there. Cool. Sent. Control K. I have to just repeat that to myself to learn it a few times. The invoice sent. Great. Invoice paid. Receipt generated. Got it. Receipt sent. We're almost back in business. Okay, now they're linked up. So receipt generated, receipt sent, got that. So I'm going to just move these down here to get a bit more visibility. I'll get everything realigned here in a moment. And what was that? Send reimburse. Yeah, that's something I still need to go research. How to do reimbursements. Or what do I need to track? I need to reimburse somebody. I'd rather have money coming in rather than going out, but okay. Let's see, where did I leave off? So I was talking about a traveling salesman problem, gonna Eris, and that was a really fun project. So we were using some research papers around ant colony optimization, a technique that it's a meta heuristic that kind of models how ants actually go and find food. So we used that as a way to try and at least come up with some halfway decent answers for the traveling salesman problem. And it worked. It actually worked. It just took a little bit too long to do it. Ultimately, I ended up going back to Huron, where I didn't work on SF-44 any longer, but I jumped onto what their core engineering team. I was already part of that earlier while I worked on the 44 project, but at that time we had like a core engineering team. On top of that, we had a product engineering team. And on top of the product engineering team, since it was an ERP system, and you can tailor those to your heart's content, we also had a professional services development team, or teams, for all the different projects that were going on. And while I was there, I got to work on really like the foundational technology that the whole stack was built upon. So that was fun. It was fun. And then I wanted, once again, I got wanted to just do something else. So that's when I moved from Huron to Axion Consulting. And that I'd never done any consulting work prior to that. I thought it'd be some good experience, work directly with customers, help them solve their problems, and that was a lot of fun. I was there for 5 years, helped a lot of different companies here in the Portland metro area, solve some of their challenges. Did some DNS work. It was a lot of cloud work, to be honest. A lot of mostly AWS, with some Azure. Going in to working for Axion, I was always a big proponent of Azure. But as I began to use AWS more and more, I got certified solution architect, I think associate level at one point. That was really funny. I think think Amazon, when you're studying to get a certificate for associate SA, they say you should have like 2 to 5 years experience. I had like a month of experience, and I was requested that I go get certification. So I buckled down, studied for 2 weeks, and got her done. A lot of the concepts, I mean, it's just stuff in the cloud is just the same as on-prem stuff, except, well, not totally, but I just see it as on-prem, just somewhere else. Maybe a little bit more expensive. I know they claimed it would be so much cheaper to move to the cloud, but I've been hearing otherwise. So while I was working for Axion, I was in plenty of different verticals. Did some work in like shipping and logistics. Did some work in fintech. Did some work in advertising. I just don't like ads. But I know, you got to advertise to draw people to your business. I know it's a necessary evil. I miss the days of the internet where there were no ads. Things were free. Remember the good old days of piracy? That has taken a little bit of time, but I think doing this is going to speed up the rest of the modeling. This will be good. Nope. Nope. I guess I could just copy this. That saved me a little bit of time there. Boom. I should have done that earlier on. Boom. And okay, so while I was actually before I was even at Axion, when I was back at Huron on tour number 2 at Huron, I was developing a system to there were new government regulations for research institutes. So when you're going to do a research study, you have to get it approved by an institutional review board. And there's a bunch of rules for that. But the government had changed one of the rules, stating that if you had subawards, so let's say you have a really big research project, and you of course can't do all the work, so you have to like subcontract out part of that work to maybe a laboratory or something like that, they would be considered a subaward, and the government had changed the rules so that all of the paperwork that that they would need to send in for the reviews needed to be updated periodically, and prior each of like the sub awardees would send in paperwork to the federal government, as well as the institute that was actually performing the study, or the PI, for principal investigator. Okay, I think so. They changed the rules there so that the sub awardees, they would actually send their information to the principal investigator, where they would put together a single packet of information and send that to the government. But all of these different places are, span some distances. They're on different computer systems. They needed some secured way to share information between the main site and the sub-awardee sites. So I was designing a system for that, and that's when I first came across Greg Young's what was it? Greg Young talk that he had on the beach. It wasn't on the beach, but Code on the Beach. I ran across that, and that's kind of the start of my love for event sourcing. Kind of it fit really well for the system that I was designing, and I was also working on like some performance metrics capturing for the core product at the time. So it was very like event driven as well. At least it had some of the same terminology. It wasn't really event sourcing, but it was really more like spewing metrics. So anyway, I had vents on the brain at that time, and that's when I started really digging into event sourcing. So that was probably late 2014 or 2015. I've been hooked since. Totally agree that I think all systems at least should potentially start event sourced. And while I might rally against CRUD from time to time, it's still necessary even in systems like this. We just don't do them on the write side. We do them on the read side. So if you're new to event sourcing, you don't really completely have to unlearn everything. You just need to unlearn CRUD for doing your like business process with the transactional piece. And yeah, so I got all of these. I'm just gonna double check now. Boom. Can delete that one. Oops. Delete. That's taking 2 delete presses. No, it didn't. Weird. Oh. Let's see. Good. Okay. Let's check these. here. Let's grab all of these. Go to the align. Oh, nope, wrong one. There we go. There. Beautiful. Where did these go? Need cancellation, probably need payment process. Right here. I still need to do those. I'm just gonna move those up here. These are things I need to do. Still need to think about that. Research. Okay. So I recreated this remote workshop requested event. One thing I also want to call out here is normally in an event model, it goes, right here, interface command event, or automation command event. Those are essentially equivalent. Once again, interfaces typically are for humans, while automations are just like automations of things that humans could be doing, but instead we've automated it for the system to just handle it. But normally there's one interface to a command to event. And what I did on Wednesday here was create 4 interfaces that ultimately produce one event. And that's just more of like, this is more like an implementation detail, to be honest. This could all be smashed into one screen, or like I said, I kind of wanted a wizard format. So to signify that, what I'm going to do and is just draw a little white box around all of these. And that's in front, so send that to the back. This is really what I want this to be, is a single screen. But what it does show is that this screen might have a bit more complexity than some other screens. So that could be useful when it comes time to implement. Or this UI might take a little bit more effort. I might want to slice that up. Different. Okay, so anyway, let's fill in all of these properties that we've collected along with their example values. So let's go to fields. Let's add ID. I think actually there's I can just plus aggregate ID. What's that do? Save. Oh, that's aggregate ID. I don't really want aggregate there. Actually, so I'm going to delete that. Save. Just ID, but I'll mark it as the ID. Save it. And let's put in a value like 1. Save. Okay, then we'll do name. Oh. Okay, I did that. I did one thing out of order there. Let's go back to ID, put that in, save that. Got a name. Skywalker. Remember to keep my chat screen up just in case. Just in case somebody wants to ask a question, comment. Jake, what are you doing? Dates. cardinality here. So we're going to set that to be a list. I don't know how this is going to render on the sticky note. We'll find out real soon. Layer, layer, layer. Okay, string array. Oh, it's a datetime array. Yeah, we'll switch that to available dates. Switch that to date. Save. I'm not really interested in what the data types are right now. I mean, eventually I will be when it comes to implementation time. I really want just the example values. Ooh, I do not like how that looks. Okay, got a plan for that. I'll just go to available dates here, and instead of white space, I'll just do comma. Just do CSV. That should make it more clear. Somewhat, yeah. That's one thing I don't like about the sticky notes in Miro. There's just never enough real estate. Prefer to just use rectangles, colored rectangles. Then you can resize them to whatever you need. Get change the font size, whatever. So at least you can show all the information, and you don't have to have ellipses. Or I think sometimes you can do the formatting maybe a little bit better. Well, no, I can't even can I resize it? That way, but that getting a little bit better. Top. Still, that must be. What I can do, yeah, I can just change the font size. There we go. Okay, I digress. That's going to be a number, actually a positive number, not just an int. There's no negative attendance. 8. Save. Desired. That's a text field or a string field. Say design a stock spread of the galactic fire. Save that. Is it's more like is authorized signatory. But do I even need that recorded in the event? No, that can just be a UI flag, or it could be in the command, but if they are authorized, what I'll do is I'll just duplicate the name as the signatory name and duplicate the email as a signatory email. So it'll be Luke Skywalker displayed twice in that case. If they select no, they don't collect just a different one. They could put in the same value, and that's fine. It just ultimately the same effect. I don't need to know whether that the person initially signing up is authorized signature, other than that I need to collect additional detail. So I'm gonna actually remove that, not have that in there, and then let's just say signatory name string. I know the names of the fields I'm putting in here have spaces. I'm really trying not to have implementation dig, get into the model. And I don't know, by using camel case or using snake case or any of those other cases, it kind of feeds the developer mindset that I don't want to be in while I'm doing modeling. Okay, so I think that's all well and good. So I do have this note here that I need to verify that the emails are correct. And potentially I want to also Mrs. collect their phone number. I think that would be optional, but I'd love to have a conversation. If somebody wants to do a workshop, I'd love to have their phone number so I can just hop on, have a quick call with them. Especially maybe to get some more information regarding whatever they've typed into as desired outcomes. Get the ball rolling. Let's see here. Oh yeah, let's add. Let's see how this is gonna work. This is gonna work well. The screen. Okay, that's good. So actually, I'm gonna take that outer box away. I'm gonna make this bigger. The screen. I change the. I want to change like the aspect ratio of this. Ah, bummer. So just make it really big then. Be all of this. Oh, shrink it a little bit. Okay. Wow. That is significantly bigger. Woo. Oh, and I didn't. I'm gonna have to group them. Neuro. Okay. All right. I need some more room. Put stuff over here. What's that? Nope. Specimen signature. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. Hope you all have some fun plans for the weekend. Got a soccer game for my daughter early Sunday morning. Her team is doing pretty good so far this season. We're 3 games in. Oh, 1 second. 3 games in, and their record is 2 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties. Let's get rid of this guy. See that guy every day. Okay, so there's our first screen. Wow. that is monstrous. Okay, let's get back into it. I wanted to add the phone number, so I want to collect that right away. So let's ungroup this. This is gonna be a pain. Take all those controls, drop Control, drop it down a little bit. Then duplicate those. Say phone number in classic form. Do a 555. I always want to put in Jenny's number. Jenny, I got your number. I need to make you mine. Now I can't even think of it. I'm like brain fart here. 867 5309. There we go. Easter egg. If you're paying attention. So we got to collect the phone number. Great. Go back to the event here and say phone number. That is going to be a string. Thank you, Lori. That's going to be a string. And what did I say? 555-867. Oh man, typo. 8675309. Got it. Okay, does that look good? So phone number is a string. Yeah, I'll probably type that to actual phone number type. Signatory email, signatory name, desired outcome, participants int, stick time. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good. Okay. Verify. So I don't want just random people coming in, posting. I want them, especially I don't want somebody taking somebody's email address that's not theirs and just posting that in. So I will at least have a phone email verification. Probably no. I should probably do phone verification too, just in case. So how do we do that? How do we design for a brand new feature? Well, in order to verify somebody's email, I will have at some point wanted a record that their email address has been verified. And that's all I need to do is define an event. That says it's happened. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Save. Here. Let's go auto. There we go. Email address verified. I want to have that happen after they've made the request, because that's where we capture their email. Before we can send any confirmation, I want to verify the email, because this is most likely going to be the sending of an email to them. So I want to verify their email address before then. And going back here, earlier I said I wanted the phone number to be optional. So I do want to tag that in the event field. So select phone number. Optional. I like that. String. Cool. verified. Okay. Let's just run through this again. Oh, this is one of the I love this feature that Martin built. So I need to select all of these. And then what I can do is shift, right? I just select that and do it. Oh, that just shifts the one. Select elements to the right. Oh, Martin, you're awesome. So actually what I'm going to do, I want to move these here. Try that again. Select everything to the right of that. Boom, boom. Move it to the right. To the right. Kind of like the opposite of that Beyonce song. To the left, to the left. Mm-hmm. To the left, to the left. So I'm gonna actually drop these back down here. I don't want to make swim lanes right now. But I will put a little actor thing on here just for my own note. So we're diving back into storyboarding. Just want to make one more pass through before we'll jump into the identify inputs step of the brain or the workshop. Great. So email address verified. That is going to be probably a to-do list. Skip that for now. This was a screen for myself. So let's go over here and add an actor. Let's put it there. Let's name it Jake, and definitely will need authorization to this screen. That's going to be this is going to be kind of like my control dashboard here of looking over all of the massive number of requests for event modeling workshops that are going to be coming in the future, right? So confirmation that actually is over here. And then I'm going to click that, schedule the workshop. So that goes there. That's going to be, okay, let's do this again. Let's use this. Love this. Select. Ooh, I was getting ahead of myself there. Too fast. There we go. Schedule, okay, that's going to be another probably to-do list processor. Automation. Automation. The automation, invoice generate automation, send automation, invoice paid. That is also probably going to be an automation because I'm not building an invoicing or payment system. I will outsource that. I cannot build one of those on my own. I probably could. It would just take way too long. Worked in some fintech before, and I know how that goes. And there's lots of rules and regulations around all that stuff, so better just to get somebody who does that. That's their main product. So this is just a lot. There's like heavy input up front, and then it's pretty much just do all of the things. A lot of automations in here, and I guess I could start working on the differences for requesting an on-site workshop. So really I want to this stuff, but also I do want to have some screens where a somebody who signed up for a workshop could potentially reschedule. So that should have a screen. So let's add a screen above that. It's gonna be another big one. Then automation, and also if you want to cancel a remote workshop, I'll allow it. Wah, wah. I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I'll allow it. Okay. So what do I need to know, or like what? Make that bigger. Get this over here for a second here. Size is about the same. Drop that over here. Okay. That means I need to move stuff more to the move stuff over. This is going to be above the remote workshop rescheduled. There we go. And so this stuff needs to go to left. Let's try that again. Let's say select. Well, it's only select to the right, not a select to the left. It would be nice, though, to have a select all elements to the left. Feature request. That's okay. I'll do it the old way. Just do that. Okay, so somebody's made the request for a workshop. It's been scheduled, so we have a date. And then something happens, maybe a snowstorm, or maybe an internet outage, maybe something else within the company comes up, and they just need to reschedule this for a different date. Of course, I have the request ID for the workshop, so I'll need that. Also need a way for the user to get to only their specific requested events. So I am going to have to. Didn't really want to do user signups and manage a user database. To think about that a little bit. Is there maybe some passwordless way? Yeah, yeah. There's some sites here seen that you can authenticate essentially, or you don't really authenticate. It is authentication. But you'd say you want to log in to see your stuff. I actually just send you a code, and then you use that code to log in. That's like a one-time use, and that could be used to manage access to that specific user's workshop. And I could just match by email address. Is that secure enough? Thanks, Lori. You love my singing. There will be plenty more of that. Since I don't have any music to listen to, I just have to sing along as the thoughts they come. All right. So, okay, think about and password this. Yeah, just tack that there. Let's say that's done. Got they've signed in, they've authenticated. What I want to do is land them on a page, a confirmation page. And actually, with basically all the details of the workshop and give them two options, an option to reschedule and an option to cancel. So, actually, I'm going to copy all of this, place that there, and then I'm just going to move some stuff around. Okay. Okay, what are here? I don't need that. Boom, boom, boom. Something big here. Let's do like 64. Workshop, say. Workshop. What was the ID? 50305001, I believe. I remember that, right? Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Things are getting squirrely on me. Let's see, I want to do the name, the email, the company, the phone, all of that stuff. Where would you like to meet? We'll just say, question, we'll just say remote workshop. Let me get rid of that. Boom. Delete, 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 delete it, delete it, delete. Oh man, do not like. I'm actually gonna design this little free form, and then I'll once I'm done, kind of move it in there, group it up. Right there. These aren't going to be input controls. They're just going to be text controls. It's like a read-only screen. Background, no color. Yeah, that kind of signifies that it's read-only. Doesn't look like a text box. Estimated participants. Move that in there. Same goes here. Let's take those two things, switch those over to text. Drop the backgrounds. Great. Short this to just be estimated participants. Copy that 8 over there. And then we'll also just say gold. It's not a question anymore. That's just the statement. All right. I don't need to ask that question again, but I will copy this stuff. Make it look like, change this to be like authorized signature. Great. Good, great, grand, wonderful. Switch that text background off. Okay, so there's a read-only screen. Let's instead of having that calendar control here, I'm just going to say schedule date. And I think then decided which of the dates that Lucas provided, being the 14th, Pi Day. Pi Day. Remember the importance of that one. Anybody who is out there listening, what's your favorite kind of pie? Please fill me in. I'm honestly very curious. 15. So it's gonna be one of those 3 dates. Let's say a pick pie day. That's when I originally scheduled it for Pi Day. Obviously, Pi Day is super important, and maybe that's why they need to reschedule, because they forgot all about Pi Day, and now they scheduled this event modeling workshop, and they really don't want to miss out on pie. I mean, there should be plenty of pie. If I was hosting an event, an on-site workshop on Pi Day, I will bring the pie. And that will hold true from now going forward. Schedule a workshop with me for Pi Day, and I will bring the pie. That looks good, I think. Just need a couple buttons on there for rescheduling. And canceling. Yeah, cool. Let's take that and that and group those together. Perfect. Okay, and let's add another of those. Let's say why? Just stick with Roboto condensed, Miro. Don't want your open sans. Schedule and cancel. Sad face. Okay. So really, for the user, they would sign in, they get this. If they reschedule, so I'm going to need another screen. When they click that, it'll probably be like a pop-up, and it could be like a pop-up or a modal, whatever you want to call them, with another calendar control to select new dates. Kind of go through the process again. I think that's really all you need. So here's select new available dates. Route that through. Yep. Let's do it. Grab another screen. I had one over there. Let's make it big. Again. Okay. Ooh, that is not the same. I screw up here. This is not seen as an element, and it's because it's not wrapped. Okay, that's the easy fix. We'll call this we'll give this screen a name. Workshop detail screen. Okay. We'll make that bigger. Okay. Workshop details. Go in. Let's push that down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, now it's still an element here. I'm going to ungroup these. delete that screen object here, and I'm just going to drop these onto that. Page up. Great. Let's see here. Let's put those. Boom. Okay. Now we're back in business. So now I need another screen. This, like I said, is going to be probably like a modal. And this is really like a link, like a navigation link. I like to show those with just dash lines. It's just a navigation. Of course, shift all those. Okay, so I already have a calendar control. Grab that. Make that big, nice and big. Add a title in here. Choose dates. Dates. That's good. Then there we go with the ums again. I probably said it way more than I thought already. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna say reschedule instead of just okay. Make it clear. So just for the sake of it, cancel. Great. Cancel. And obviously, I should navigate back. Boom. That's just a navigation. Easy peasy. And when they reschedule, boom. Great. So let's take everything to the right of the rescheduled event. Accept that. Accept that. Push those out to the right a little bit more. Oh, it's out of order a little bit. This is actually the requested event. It's only when I confirm one of the available dates that they've selected that it becomes rescheduled. These go over here. There. So what do we need data-wise here? We're going to need the ID and the new available dates. That's really all we need, I think. So reschedule remote workshop requested needs the ID. So earlier I was showing I didn't really like aggregate ID. I'm not a big fan of aggregates. I want it to be more specific. ID isn't specific enough. So what I'm going to do is say this is the workshop ID. Workshop ID. That's an ID. Probably a string. Maybe it's a GUID. Maybe UID. What happened there? second here. Let me get it reset. All right, back in business. The event modeling thing. Okay. So workshop maybe it's going to be a UUID there, and we'll let's make this technical as well. Here's the thing. While I'm modeling, I'm using an ID that's just a number. In reality, I'm gonna come implementation time, I'll use a UUID. But UUIDs, I don't want to get into discussions around UUIDs or what version of UUID to work with. Really, I just need some identifier just to associate things. So I typically use simple numbers like this natural key here that I have for the workshop ID, even though at implementation time, like I said, I'll use a UUID. So I'm going to actually mark it that way on the event model. Save that. I'm just going to go back and update this here. Go to ID. Let's rename that. So workshop ID. It is the ID. It's also technical. Switch that over to UUID. Example value doesn't like enforce that it is a UUID, and I actually like to see more of a natural key when I'm modeling. Oh, but why didn't it? Okay, I got to delete the ID. Minus. There we go. So workshop ID. Right. Workshop ID. Great. So available dates. That date time. Allow people to select. Let's see, multiple dates. Save that there. I think that's really all the new data that's coming in. So reschedule, that gets stored. Of course, on reschedule, we want to navigate them to a similar page. More like a what? Really expected the screen. Switch that to. Oh no, what did I do? Okay, I'm gonna need to talk to Martin about that one. Like, why is this no longer? Because I added in a bunch of stuff. Is that why it's not being recognized as like a screen element? I'm kind of curious, like what's the approach there? Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. I'll get that answered. Come back to that later. Uh, Here I want a confirmation schedule confirmation. Ungroup those. It might be because I grouped objects. I mean, I know Martin deals with like having to parse like a Miro board. And I'm guessing that's no easy task. So when I start throwing in additional elements into a screen component, it probably throws things off a bit. Say Levy. Um, make that we'll display a lot of this. Um, don't really need to show the authorized signatory stuff when they're rescheduling. I want to keep a lot of the same information, but I want like the old date, but I also want the potential new dates. There, text control. And let's say this time, so scheduled date was on 3/14. I know we had already wanted it potentially on 3/18, 3/19. But let's also potentially say, well, now 14 is on a Friday, so 19th on a Wednesday. Let's also say like the 21st. That's a good day, Taba. Right. So this is really just, showing them, yeah, we've received the information for this potential reschedule. That's for them. Then down the remote, the automation there. This goes before that. Kind of probably happening here. Then I will review some. There's gonna be another screen like this. On the same screen, but I specifically want to know like reschedules. So it's going to be another just like list of workshops, but lists of workshops that have rescheduling requests. But it's going to be very similar. So I'm going to just copy these two screens. Smaller. Nope. Same information, same ID, same view details. Workshop request. Ooh, you know what? maybe here, additionally, could have another input control. I might want to capture Y. I don't know. I'm just curious. I want to know, like, potentially why, what came up. I mean, this could be optional. Just add that note right now. Note string optional. Save. Great. Down there. And then I'll add. I want to compare back that note. Put in something like conflict with enough said. There. Okay, same on this screen. When they schedule request, instead of desired outcomes here, I'm gonna know who the person is already. I've done some due diligence on their problem to be prepared for the workshop. I really just want to show this note here. And once again, I want to Yep, cool. Oh wow, man, 2 hours flies by quick. Okay, so I added that. That is going to then issue. And we can do the same for cancellation. It's going to be kind of like just a copy of this. Maybe more of like a, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? Are you really sure that you're sure that you're sure? Hmm? Or I could do some like dark stuff where you have to, no, you got to go to this page if you want to cancel. No, no, nope, that's not enough either. You got to go to this page and then this page. Then you got to make this phone call. Hit the number 2. Then you can cancel. Be that evil. Not like the face page. Alrighty. Boom, boom. Information sent. That's going to happen kind of in the middle. Scheduled. Okay, then we'll move everything to the right. Ah, man, love that every time. I love that. Thank you. Okay. let's show this screen again. Okay, move it a little bit more to the right. And this time we're going to be going to something like that screen. Instead, we're going to be canceling. Okay. So let's say bigger. Cancel. One. Give some context. You're going to cancel this workshop. Kind of once again want to know why. I could have a drop down there. There's some specific reasons, but at least to start, I just like it to be freeform text, and I don't really know yet why people are going to cancel. But if there becomes some commonality between a lot of the answers, I could potentially do a drop down in the future. And when it comes to that time, then we can jump into how to change events and migrate your system. That'll be fun. Fun day in the future. So send a note on cancellation. We will want probably a link to like a cancellation policy, like link to cancellation policy. And I had a sticky over here about need a cancellation policy. So I'm just going to do this. Make that bigger. Great. And I'm going to take that thing and link it there. Let's make that a dotted line. Navigation. And then, ooh, this is a fun one. This is a fun one. So I'm gonna need some buttons here. You know, like reschedule workshop. Okay. Or reschedule. Okay. Cancel workshop. But this is weird. Have another cancel. That doesn't. Do you cancel or do you cancel the workshop? I'm gonna leave it because I think it's kind of funny right now, but I know that's gonna be ambiguous. Usually that's pretty poor user experience right there. But it's good enough for now. It makes sense to me. So that'll do a cancel remote workshop requested. Once again, we'll send them an email. Like that. Do we need to send them an email confirming that they've requested the cancellation as well as actually canceling it? Not sure. I go back and forth on that because it's good to communicate. But man, I really hate getting a barrage of emails every time I click something on a website. Maybe I could do some. No, I'd have to keep track of user accounts and their notification settings. I don't want to get into that right now. Okay. here. Push these over a little bit more. And similarly, this reschedule workshop requests. Reschedule workshop requests. Okay, let's copy those. Here. Now gonna be like cancel shop requests. Confirm the cancellation. Okay, and that'll be a workshop canceled. Yep. Wah, wah. Okay, so been on for about 2 hours here. I need a little bio break. So let's do this. Thank you all for watching. I will be back in just a few. Grab a cup of coffee. Take a little break in the boys' room. All right, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Got some coffee. It still took longer than I thought it was going to. Best laid plans. Okay, where did we leave off? We just created the cancel screens. Right there. So I don't yet want to work on. I'm gonna hold off on this on-site stuff. Let's try and just focus on getting remote workshops scheduled first. So let's see here. Just gonna kind of like draw a line in the sand here for now. And the way I do that is I'm just gonna put a rectangle in here and mark that red. I'm just gonna do that. Just say, hey, I'm not thinking about these for the current time. And uh, we have a storyboard. And next comes identifying inputs. And this is where tooling really comes in. Actually, before we do that, let's take this guy and switch it over to an actor. So let's go ahead here and create an actor. And we'll name that actor spectative client. I want anybody to be able to be a prospective client and sign up for workshops. So no authorization. You can be anonymous. I will do some verification, but at least initially, you're anonymous. Now, I'll probably start breaking these out into some lanes. So in event modeling, we want to keep the screens for different actors within their own timeline. So you can kind of see how multiple different people with maybe different roles using the system might work with it over time. So that one here went to this lined up right. This was rescheduling. Yep, there's that. There's really I need a gap between these and those. So what I'll do here, I'll kind of just shrink this stuff or pull it over this way. Now, still a lot to define before we start coding on this thing. Okay. Let's a little bit further. And then let's gather up all this stuff. This stuff. Good thing we have an infinite whiteboard. Well, let's get to it. So, identifying inputs. Let's just take a quick read over at evntd.org. So here we're on identify. Oh, you know what? I forgot to switch my scene in OBS. So apologies. You were listening to me talk and you couldn't see what I was doing. So we're now jumping into identify inputs. That is the phase where we kind of link uh, the screens defined in the storyboard to the events that those screens ultimately produce, but we do that by introducing the concept of a command. Command represents user's intent to perform some action. Commands may fail for numerous reasons. They often have the same similar schema to an event, but really it's the command is the intent, and if it actually if the system allows it, then it records it as an event and as something happening. So let's just go here. Oh, that one is that one is a screen element. But why is that one not screen element? What did I do? What did I do to bungle that up? Because I feel like, so here's what you should do. If you're using Martin's tool, select the event. So we're working here with this remote workshop requested event. Go over here to slices and you can say, hey, I want a state change slice. Boom. But that's going to build this new screen, this new generic screen. But I want the screen, I want this to be the screen. And that's set up correctly. I'm really curious how I bungled that. All right. Well, if I delete this one that created, I might link it there. Switch that back to solid line. Okay, that wants to go up a little bit higher. Take those and group those. I group everything. Group it all. It's still considered a screen? Yeah. Oh, I see. So it is. Huh. Change this to. Sorry. Here, I'm just just learning some of the corner cases of the tool. No, that didn't rename. Expected it to date that. Huh. Oh well, maybe I shouldn't be doing like mid-fi mockups here with this tool. Live and learn. Let's put that up a little bit. Give us some room here. I like to have these vertical, since we'll be chopping this up into vertical slices later. Okay, so remote workshop is requested. Great. Now they have provided their email. Provided their email. So what I want to do is verify. So what I want is a. So here's another thing. On my last live stream, I kind of do step one, brainstorming, and the plot at the same time, kind of overlap. This is another place that I kind of overlap. Steps 4 and 5, identifying inputs as well as identifying outputs. So creating the state view or state change slices as well as the state views. Just kind of do that together. What I want here, though, is after I have an email, capture their email, I want to validate that that's actually their email. So what I'm going to need to do is have an automation in place that sends them, like some confirmation, some magic number, that they need to confirm. That only if they, control the email account, they should be able to get. So we can verify. So let's do that. Let's click on this event and let's add an automation. Ooh, that is not what I expected. Oh, I see what I did there. So if I undo, oh, I expect I'll just delete those. Great. So that button looks like I should be doing, email address verified. Making an automation for that. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, this, I like to put the automations on the swim lane that's below all the screens. So let's move that up a little bit. Let's put that prospective client there. Let's move myself up there. Okay. So this is really going to be email addresses to verify. This is going to be a to-do list. So all I need probably want to, for each remote workshop request, I want to verify both that the person signing up, their email address is valid, as well as if there is a signatory email address, if that's different, I'm going to want to verify that email address as well. So I can just do this. So this to-do list here is really going to be email addresses, kind of like context here, and that's going to be a list strings. And then here, as an show as an example, I'm going to say l.org. Use a comma delimited list again. Here, do m Machma at rebel. But then again, on Machma, might not be expecting this. That's actually a question. Do I need to verify that? I should. Ultimately, I know I'm going to want to use that email address as I prepare a document via like DocuSign or another signing service. I still want to verify. I think I still want to verify. My only concern here is, or one of my concerns here is that, say Luke signs up, doesn't tell Mothma about it at all. And will that email requesting verification, will that, like raise a red flag for the signatory? Like, I didn't sign up for this. I'm not going to click that link or copy that URL. That's crazy talk. I understand that. So maybe I don't want to do the signatory. Or if I do, I need to. If I do, I need to like wrap it up with more communications, saying, "Hey, Luke caused this." And if that's different, then need a very similar but slightly different flow. What does the community think here? For now, I'm just gonna go with Luke. But I don't want to forget. I do not want to forget. So, add a red sticky here. Should I also send verification? Okay. As you may have noticed here, this line became red. And that's because this tool has this awesome feature called data completeness check. So it verifies that all of the information that you have in the event is available to this model. And you can see right now, since it's red, it's saying, hey, something is off. And that's because I think it does just a simple comparison of like field names. And this one's email addresses because it's going to be a to-do list of all of the emails that I need to send a verification to, which this automation will, of course, pick up. I kind of like that going there. And in the event itself, we just have email. Could switch that just to email. Actually, I am going to do that. I'm going to switch that to, instead of email addresses, I'm just going to simplify that and say emails. Save. Oh, created both. It didn't overwrite. Okay, that's fine. Delete that. Save. There we go. Back in business. And then invalid target. See, if you click on the actual connector here, it tells you, okay, you're missing emails. So I think I can go into the model, remodel here, and select emails, and I can add a mapping, and I'll just say email, the mapping. I don't think it'll do it like a type check going from like a single email to a list. I think it just accepts it if you have the mapping. Yep, and it did. Great. So we're good there. Email address to verify email address. So when I do this, just send an email address. So on this one, I'm going to need the email. Save that. And then I'm going to need the confirmation token or verification token. Token. That's going to be basically some gobbledygook base 64 encoded thing. So let's just do like ABC123 Z plus. Let's just do that. ABC123Z. Great. That obviously is going to be. Can I mark this with some token is technical. Also important. Shows that, we're following at least a little bit of security here. At least that's on the mind. Oh, documentation. Here we go. Okay, click on that. Click on documentation. Maybe this isn't the right place. API endpoint. Must be endpoint. Like it. Token should be a cryptographic. Just gonna put the note there. I don't know where that shows up. I think that's later on. There's some. And Martin's built some cool code generation stuff. Once you have a working model, you can output that to JSON, feed that to a code generator, and I think that documentation field ultimately goes into maybe like a API, open API specification, something like that. Okay, so what's going on with this one here? Okay, I don't have an email, I don't have a token. Copy fields there, save. Okay, great. Issue the command. So this processor is actually going to generate that cryptographic random. So token, it's going to be a string. Did I get it? Yeah, token. What? Token. Ooh. Right. Rightio. I don't want a read model to be generating tokens that are just persisted there. I think there's another way to do that. External data. I'm pretty sure it's external data. Yeah. Generated value is good. We'll just say token here. Save. Put that there. So also I will put ABC1, 2, 3, Z, the example. Take this token, delete that, save that. In the email. Oh, I need the mapping again. Derp. So we select email and we'll map that. There we go. Back in business. Cool. Oh yeah, I want to verify if they provide a no, but they could be providing an office phone number. Can't, I don't, can you verify an office phone number? Maybe you could send a voice recording that you got to type in a specific number. I think that's more work than it's worth, to be honest. I'd rather call if somebody mistypes it. I can give that a phone call. I can self verify. That's what I'll do. Okay, this one's done. Okay, email address is verified. Now, similarly, I want to, if they're verified, excuse me. Then once they're verified, then I want to send them the remote request confirmation, send them a second email. So let's take this one and build another automation here. Boom. Okay. Put that right there. Let's rename this one. Remote workshop request confirmations. To send. Okay. So I only want to send them the confirmation when they requested it and once their email is verified. So both those events will feed into this new to-do list. Why is that one called processor and this one's called automation? Anyway, remote workshop requests to send. So in that one, I want to basically send them all this information that they've already input, maybe minus the signatory. Probably leave out the phone number as well. There's no sense in sending that in an email. What is there? In case they got it wrong. I haven't really thought of how they can go in and correct that either. Yeah, I can deal with that later. We'll assume they've entered it correctly. So, oh right, I didn't even finish this one. So before we move on here, email address verified. So let's click. No, sync copies is for when you're cloning. There's a quick way to like copy the Hey, Major Martin, how's it going? I feel like I know there's a way to like copy these fields down really quickly. sync. That was just the sync thing again. All right. I'm missing something here. If I click validate on there, all right. What I really want here, this will validate that the incoming token is correct. I have no reason to actually persist what the token. Actually, I am going to need to know what the token is. Hmm. Mm-hmm. I think my brain's getting low on energy. Anyway, email verified. I do want to repeat the email address here, even though I have it stored before. I want a record that this specific email address has been verified. So do like L. Save that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm brain farting there on that confirmation token. Yeah, this is the Nebula event modeling extension for Miro. Okay, so when remote workshop request confirmations to send. So I'm gonna need once again the email. I swear. There's a copy. Martin, have you used this? Major Martin, have you used this extension before? I'll push that in and validate. Why is that not working? Hmm. Define a slice. Oh, derp. You actually have to copy the. Click on the connection. There. So now this should have email. It does. Cool. But I don't see it on the actual sticky note. Do I have to resave that? Yep. So I've got that. I also will need to know I want to copy in this information. Click copy, click save, boom. Now we got it all. So email, make sure email is not in here twice. And don't want to send in the signatory emails to this model. So I'm going to delete that, save, delete that, save, phone number, name, I want to reflect a lot of this information back to them in the email so that they can confirm, make sure everything got right. They, of course, could send a follow-up email if anything's wrong. That would be good for now. Instead of building a bunch of update screens. Cool. Cool. Boom. Do that. Okay. So once we have that, then we're going to send the remote workshop request confirmation. Let's have it. It doesn't need that. So let's do this. Copy field. Okay. No. Gotta first do it here. Fields. There we go. Okay. So that's enough to construct a email, ship that off, and then I really only need to persist the fact that the workshop itself has been confirmed. I don't really need to re-persist any of this other stuff besides the ID. So just say workshop ID. That's going to be a UUID. The value 030501. Save that. Boom. Cool. So that's sent them an email. And then next here. Now, in order to build this workshop requested screen, that is going to be a save view slice. We're viewing the requested workshops. So let's go ahead and click this workshop requested. And we're going to need a new state change. State view. So boom, put that over there. This really is going to be this screen right here. So what I'm going to do is make that a little bit bigger. Drop that. Feed this stuff in. Just move it in. Page up. Great. Move that over. Oh, but that even, so really for this screen, I want the ID, the name, the company. I don't need the full detail until we click on it and go to that screen. So here I'm going to say remote workshops requested. That's good, but I don't need all the detail. I just want the company, the name, and the workshop ID. So once again, delete signatory email, delete that. Don't need number, no. Name, don't need the participants, don't need the desired outcome, company available dates. Boom. Name, do I need email? Why is that complaining now? Oh, because this already has those copies as well. I really wanted to sync, not just copy. Okay, so I gotta go to this one and delete some more fields. Put that one. Oh, got it. Oh, that did work. Yeah. Yay. Yay. Cool. Move those over. And similar to this, I want another state change slice. Not state change, state view. Okay, put that over here. Bring the screen up. Put that over there. And the screen is going to go here. Let's see, this model does need all this detail here because I want to repeat that. Let's call this the remote workshop details screen. But once again, I don't need I need the signatory's name. Yeah, I'll leave the email on there too. It's just gonna be a screen for me, so that's good. Unless I haven't modeled it in the screen. What did I say I needed? So I'm gonna need their email. I'm gonna need their name, the company, the workshop ID, the desired outcome, the available dates. All the other stuff I can leave alone. Make this a bit bigger. Let's delete that. Drop that in, page up. Relink that to that. There. There. And then, so I select the date that I want out of the available. So let's see here. Workshop ID, yes. Available date, yes. Company, yes. Desired outcome, yes. Email, yes. I had estimated participants in there. I wanted to put it in there. Great. Name. Let's skip the phone number and the signatory stuff. Well, no, I do want the phone number. I definitely want the phone number in case I want to reach out and contact them. So I'll put it over here by the email, make it a little bit smaller. 555 dash 867 5309. I will drop the signatory email, signatory name. No, that was a bad idea. Let's resync those fields in. keep those close together so I can just click and then not have a long way to move my mouse in order to schedule it. Future optimization. Cool. So I'm gonna collect and show all the information. Now, sometimes if it's a good idea to come in here and pick like this highlighter, pick a green color, and then kind of highlight. Ooh, yuck. Yeah, I'll do that. Yes. There's a way to do transparency. Maybe I'm using the wrong tool here. Oh yeah, highlighter. There we go. Green. So highlight these in green when they're coming from a model. Gives a tip or a hint to the implementer that they need to map that information from the model into the screen. Likewise, you would do blues here. That's a little blue and a green. That's a little blue and a green. Because that's both going to be output to display the screen, but then input back into the system when we actually need to go schedule it. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in, Major Martin. All right, it's past noon. Not too bad. Remodeling everything I've done, and also got a few state changes and state view slices in here. I just want to do one more before I call it good for the day, and that is actually the state change slice here. There, click that. State change, that's going to build me a new screen. Need that screen. Relink this screen. Oh, give me a. There we go. Change that to a solid line. Fields. Okay, that's sending in way more than we need. I only need the workshop ID, the date, the schedule date, not even all of the available dates, and then these available dates, and what else? That's it. Go. Delete. And that name. Oh, I shouldn't have copied those over anyway. Save. Oh, I clicked off of it. Nah. Delete, delete, save, delete, save. Okay, that's what we want. So once again, I want to select everything to the right and move that over. Select everything to the right. Move that over. Ooh, that's. Mm. Anyway, so not available dates. What I need here on this command is the scheduled date. So let's type in scheduled date, date time, and we'll say 5. Click save there, and then I'm going to remove dates. Boom. Of course. What I want to do is, well, here's the thing. So when they do the state view, I'm going to be highlighting on this calendar control what the available dates are. But then in a different field, I'm really going to be keeping track of one scheduled date. And they might get rendered overlaid on top of this calendar control, like maybe using different highlighting or something to that effect, or maybe two calendars. One where this is what what's available to them. This is the one I actually pick. I think it'd be better just to have one control, but they are two different fields. So I'm actually just gonna copy that scheduled date up into there. It's that. Yeah, because now it has the available dates. And oh, what? No, I didn't. No. Oh, it's because it copies the direction of the arrow. Okay, third time's a charm. Date time. Okay. And instead, on this screen, I'm just going to add a date time. Say 3, 4, 2. And it needs a model here. I don't want that. I just want it to omit that. That's something that's input there on that screen. Feeding it. Way to ignore it? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't put it in there. I don't put it in there, then that line's gonna be red. Hmm. Hmm. Anyway, that's a question. Last but not least, I want to make sure that this has all these fields. So I'm going to copy those. Let's save the workshop ID and the date that it was scheduled. And then we're good. Cool. So we made some progress. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So today we basically took what my manual event model um, started using Martin, the Nebulet event modeling extension for Miro, switch over that to go a little bit faster. Made some learning mistakes here, but we got it all converted over. Started building out some slices, and I'm gonna call it good for now. Thank you all if you stopped in. I appreciate you watching. Uh, And while I build out this booking system, if it's of interest to you, please reach out to me on LinkedIn or YouTube or email anyway. While I might not have an automated system for booking, you can definitely do it manually just with a little bit of communication. So thank you everybody for stopping in. Have a great Friday and a fantastic weekend.